Welcome back live to Le Mans, where the second place car in the LMP2 category is just in front of a Titanic GT2 battle. You're looking at the red Ferrari, Jaime Melo in the 82 Risi Competizione F430, being chased by Oliver Gavin in the number 64 GM Corvette. And what he loses in the corners and under braking, Gavin makes up under straights. This battle, Jeremy Shaw, has just raged.
Sensational. And about a minute or so back in third place in the cars is Jan Magnussen in the second of the Corvettes, but he is turning laps faster than the qualifying pole in his class. Absolutely amazing. This GT2 battle, we knew it was going to be a feature of this event, and one of the cars we were hoping was going to be part of that battle, and indeed was part of the battle, was the number 80 Flying Lizard Porsche. Unfortunately, that car is out of the race. Darren Law was at the wheel when the car went out. Darren, you've been very kind enough to join us here and wait an awful long time here. You've been so patient. Thank you so much. What happened?
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it's, you know, it was just one of those things. I had a bit of lockup and slid off, which is normally not a big deal, but when I came back on track, I hit the backside of a curb, and it did some damage underneath the car, and it basically put us out. So the Flying Lizard guys, they do such a great job, and you know, it's just been a tough run here at Le Mans for them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Lizards have won here at Le Mans before. You've won, what, 4, I think, isn't it? GT2 championships in the American Le Mans.
Two championships in American Le Mans series.
In a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
And, and you know, but you know, since that win here, things have just not gone right your way.
Actually, they were on the podium the first year they came in 05. Oh, great race here.
Here comes Gav. He's got the inside line. Oh, wrong chicane. No, he's got the outside line. Trying to put an outside move on.
Yeah.
See that?
But how much fun is it to be part of this sensational era now of GT2 racing, Darren?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we, at least in the U.S., as well as over here, I mean, for us, that is the racing, GT2. It's the biggest class, the most competitive in American Le Mans, and as you're watching TV here, it's just great. I'm happy to be here, just watch it here if I'm not on track.
Well, I was going to say, actually, isn't it just a little bit frustrating that you can't
it is
still
very, yeah, it's very frustrating.
Inside it, yeah.
It's very frustrating, and you know, I'm watching times, you know, be it rubber being put down or whatever, but there's almost a second under pole. It's unbelievable how fast those guys are running and pushing.
Now, you got out of the car, what, about an hour or so ago? How were the track conditions?
Actually, they were fairly good. Like I said, it was gaining grip, and you know, as it cools down, the motors are going to run well. There wasn't a ton of debris. You have to be careful and not get off line too far, but there was a lot of grip. It was good.
Now, last year was your first experience here at Le Mans.
Yeah.
You'd won the Daytona 24 Hours, which was a heck of an experience. And I know you were so excited about coming here to Le Mans.
Yeah, it was. You know, I look back on it this year. It's coming here for the first time last year. There's so much going on, and you've got driver parades and so many people. It's just it's almost too much. And this year I was really looking forward to coming back because I have some time now. I know the schedule, I know how it works, and I had time to reflect on it and think about it. So it was really enjoyable up to this point.
Now, you come from a racing family. Your father worked with some greats in the sport, Mark Donoghue and Penske Racing, and here you are, kind of, you know, taking a different avenue in the sport.
Yeah. Well, my dad was a mechanic for Mark Donoghue back in the 60s, and you know, I grew up in go-karts and moved on to Formula cars, but then I got into the sports car ranks, and that's actually where we met, in super touring, you know, and I've stuck with the sports car stuff ever since, so it's been really good.
What about the growth of GT2? Obviously, Corvette took a fairly major decision last year that GT1 was withering on the vine, and they've jumped in.
Yeah.
We've got the BMW we're looking at now, which of course you're also familiar with from the American Le Mans series. They're racing a slightly different spec version, but basically it looks outwardly the same.
Yeah.
And of course, for BMW, that's a return to American Le Mans, because 11 years ago when the series started with Tom Milner's PTG group, they were there then with the 6-cylinder motors. They also turned up with a V8 and won a championship, what, 6 or 7 years ago. So there's more variety. We've got the Aston Martins here as well. We've got, all right, the Spiker you don't get in the States, but variety. So Porsche's heart, I mean, Porsche's kind of class, if you like, over the years here at Le Mans is very much the focus of an awful lot of manufacturer involvement, and that's got to spur on the Porsche teams as much as anyone else.
It does, and actually we really welcome everyone coming in. You know, for a while there it was Porsche dominating, which is great. We love that. But
great when you're a Porsche racer.
But I mean, it really makes the class having all the different manufacturers in, and the competition is really up the bar for everybody. So it's been great, and I think it's the best racing.
Oliver Gavin is looking to make a pass down the inside, going into the first chicane on the Mulsanne straight, and this time he gets it done. He's positioned himself perfectly, got in the toe there. How much of a draft, how much of a slipstream do you get in these cars?
Well, you know, a lot of the tracks in the States, we don't feel a lot of the draft, but here for sure we do. We're in 6th gear for our cars for so long. We go up several kilometers an hour as we come down the straight just in the draft.
And while we're watching the number 64 Corvette try to fend off Jaime Melo going into the second chicane. Are they going to?
Yeah, he's done it.
They are, aren't they? So switch again. Fantastic stuff. Meanwhile, Jan Magnussen, the last 3 laps in a row have been faster each time, and he's now almost a whole second faster than anybody went in qualifying. Absolutely stunning performance by Jan Magnussen. First of all, to get 3 clear laps in a row, to do 3 fastest laps in succession is amazing in itself, and the speed he's going is fantastic as well. Here we are side by side now down into Mulsanne corner. That's not really a place you think about making a move, is it?
No, it's tough. You're coming in there so hard. It's easy to lock up there.
Well, you're looking at 2 drivers who started their careers in very competitive single-seaters, and they seem to have neglected the roof and the windshield in front of them, because they are back in Formula 3 or whatever days, and just we said at the beginning of the race, as we do so often, that it's like a Formula Ford 10-lapper, and they forget there's 23 3/4 hours left to go after that, and these guys are still at it exactly the same way. Even as the Peugeot goes past, they're not blinking because they don't want to lose their place.
Talking of blinking, we could see the Peugeot there flashing his lights as it came up behind those 2 cars. What is it like? I mean, you're going down there, down the straights at 290 clicks or whatever it is, and you're looking in the mirrors. How much do you see the faster cars behind you?
You know, the Peugeots and the Audis, it's not a big deal. They're so fast and they go by so quick. As long as you see it, they'll get by quickly. It's the LMP2 and the other cars that really don't have much straightaway, and it makes it tough.
Right, we're going to get down to the pit road, and I guess Justina's got somebody else to talk to us. Let's catch up with the action on pit road.
What an incredible fight with the Ferraris.
I think we saw a little bit of this in qualifying. I think the fans kind of thought maybe it was going to be a dogfight. This is some of the greatest racing in the history of Le Mans. We're very proud to be part of that at Corvette Racing.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see this at this moment. Are you confident for the rest of the race?
Oh, yes. The cars are capable of this kind of pace. We work all week long to set the cars up so that they're good race cars. And obviously Ferrari has done the same thing. I think this is a battle that can continue on for the next 17 hours. It's going to be very interesting when it gets down to the end.
I'm sure we're going to come back to see that with you.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you maybe in a few more hours, see where we are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Doug Feehan, the general racing manager at Corvette Racing, has been here so many times with these cars in the GT1 class. When they started in American Le Mans Series with the C5s, they had a lot of power, overheated the rear ends. For years they were the underdogs in the battle against the all-conquering Chrysler Viper. They gained supremacy, and really since then they have dictated the pace of racing and the pace of development in GT1. And now, well, they're not dictating the pace in the GT2 category that they've moved into this year, but boy, are they right on it. Ferrari, for the last few hundred meters, has held the upper hand and currently lead the category, but that battle is barely even a car length apart. Peugeot lead overall. The Stracker Racing HPD is still leading in the P2 class. The Maytech Ford, the remaining Maytech Ford, is leading in GT1, and in GT2, well, toss a coin at the moment. It's either that Ferrari or that Corvette. One or the other will come into the pit lane after having blinked first, but there is nothing in it, and we still have Darren Law with us, and